Hello and welcome to a fresh episode of Topical Discussions. Our guest today is Rich Akwo, and he is founder and Chief Impact Officer at Generosity Global. Mr. Akwo's humanitarian efforts have been well documented, crossing the lines of his native country at Cameroon and the United States, where he resides. Now, Generosity Global was founded in 2010 as a grassroots organization, but they have evolved over time. And over the last 9 years, they have been very consistent in their humanitarian effort to improve the quality of lives of those in need. And I know that outside the United States, Generosity Global is also working to bring clean and safe drinking water to villages in need across the sub-Saharan Africa. And today we will be speaking with Rich to learn more about Generosity Global and ways that we can also make an impact. Thank you for joining me today, Rich.
Joy, thank you so much. It's a pleasure. It's been a long time coming, and definitely thank you for the opportunity to tell and share with the world, Generosity Global, our story and our work.
Awesome. Now let's start with your background and the inspiration behind Generosity Global.
So back in 2010, my wife and I just had this deep desire to want to give back to those who are less fortunate in our home city, Baltimore, Maryland. I am originally born in Cameroon, Africa, but I have been adopted citizen of Baltimore, Maryland for the past 23 years. So that's my home away from home. And one fateful Christmas Eve back in 2010, we decided to take blankets and clothing and food to distribute to the homeless community. And from there was this desire to want to do more. And over the years, our giving has evolved. Our giving has manifested into more people joining on board. And now we have grown beyond a grassroots stage where we are attracting more volunteers, more givers, and having impact not just locally but also globally.
That's amazing. Now, can you tell me about the programs you have at Generosity Global?
Yes, so Generosity Global, we have three main programs. Two of those programs are focused in the United States, mainly providing food services and basic supplies, living supplies to people in the homeless community. And this Saturday, we will be launching a second program to benefit members of the homeless community. We will be providing them with access to a shower service each weekday here in Baltimore, Maryland.
How long is it gonna run for?
So starting out, we are going to do it for twice a week. But my vision, our goal is to eventually have services, 5-6 days a week, if not 7 days a week. So it's something that is brand new for us. It's a new program. We are excited about it. We are launching it this Saturday. But obviously, in order to grow capacity and be able to reach more people, we have to take it step by step, understand our mechanics, understand our processes. But the beautiful part about it is we know that we are providing a service that is restoring hope, that is restoring human dignity, that is making our homeless brothers and sisters feel human again. So I'm excited about that.
Now, I did see pictures of the mobile shower. What was the inspiration? Like, how did you come up with it, and how many stalls do they have? How did you come up with the concept?
The idea was birthed really out of our flagship program, Selfless Saturday, which we have every second Saturday of the month here in Baltimore. Through serving and feeding the homeless, it became apparent to me through a conversation with a homeless gentleman, and his biggest thing is like, thank you for the food, thank you for the clothes, but look at how dirty I am. I haven't showered in a couple of weeks. And so, I put one and two together and say, well, it would be nice to not only give food, to not only give clothes, but also how about we can give this person an access for them to have a daily shower. So that's where the idea started. And when I did research to what it will cost for the organization to rent one of those facilities, it did not make much sense to me. So when I say we, the organization and my team and our volunteers and our supporters went into action to raise money to be able to purchase a trailer, and eventually we built a mobile showers on wheels, as we call it. And it is launching this weekend. It has 5 private stalls, and each stall was built with the human being in mind, with that person in mind. I'm sure, like you said, you have seen the pictures. When people get in there, we wanted to make it feel as though you were taking a shower in a 5-star restaurant or 5-star hotel, or maybe a shower in your home. So it's very clean, it's very modern, it's very elegant, and we know without a shadow of a doubt people are going to feel so good in there.
Amazing. Yeah, I did see pictures and I was wowed by the whole concept. Now, let's talk about funding. How were you able to come up with that?
Through just sheer fundraising campaigns. An example for me, when we launched into building these shower trucks, building this mobile shower service, I gave up my birthday celebration. In exchange, I asked my friends to donate money to the cause. So we have throughout the year multiple fundraising campaigns that we ask people to donate to any one of our causes. And the good thing is we invite people to donate at any level. If all you can afford is $5, we welcome your $5. If you are blessed financially and you can give more, if you can give $100, if you can give $1,000, we welcome it all together. And then we've been fortunate because of our track record, because of our impact that we've shown, because of our transparency model. We've been able to attract some sponsors and community partners who also help us with in-kind services and also financial donations. So we are blessed to have that. But there's nothing like fundraising. Throughout the year, we invite people to look at our cause, and if it's something that speaks to their heart and they want to be part of it, we invite them to donate to Generosity Global.
Okay, now I know that the organization has a ball every year, an annual ball. Could you tell me more about that?
So Mission Ball, tell the audience, especially our audience in the United States, if you are in the Washington, D.C. area, we have an annual fundraising ball called Mission Ball, and Mission Ball raises money for our Africa impact, our impact in sub-Saharan Africa. We get dressed up, we look glamorous, we look amazing to party for a great cause, to raise money for clean water projects in sub-Saharan Africa. For the past 4 years, Generosity Global has been working in Cameroon, and to date we have provided clean drinking water to close to 17,000 people in Cameroon. And as we raise more money, we are in a position now to scale to multiple countries in sub-Saharan Africa. But Mission Ball is an amazing event. We encourage everybody to come out. That's an opportunity to get to know what we are doing as an organization, to meet other game changers. And
when is it this year? What year? What time do you? When do you host it this year?
This year it's going to be in downtown Silver Spring, Maryland. We will share a flyer with you guys. The address, I believe, is 1 Veterans Place, Silver Spring, Maryland. The Silver Spring Civic Center, September 28th, and start time, not African time, regular. We start on time, we finish on time. Start time is 6:30 p.m. It is an amazing event. The best investments you will ever make this year, hands down, guaranteed.
Now, that's interesting to know. Now, you talking about what you do in Africa. Can you give us an idea of what it's like in Africa? I've seen your pictures. I've gone on your website. I've seen pictures on the Generosity Global Facebook page. But how is it like because I saw some pictures of you in Cameroon recently. How is it like on the ground? What is the situation?
I mean, it's unreal. It is, I would say our leaders, and when I say leaders, our political leaders have failed us. They have failed the people. And when we go into, there's one thing, and I know, you are from Nigeria, and there's one thing to go into the capital city and see everything looking good and everything looking lavish. It's totally different, and I know our audience will agree with us. It's totally different when you go into the remote villages where there is lack of infrastructure, there's lack of anything. And so when we take that trip to Cameroon, when we take that trip to the northern part of Cameroon, and we are in those villages, we uncover so much. Life is so precious, and with the work that we do with water, we really see how water, once introduced into a community, brings back life. You have people that are drinking dirty water that you and that animals will not even drink, but this is all they have. Water that is infested with diseases, with animal waste, muddy water. It's really devastating. It is really bad. And I mean, the statistics, is true. With over, in Africa alone, 350 million people do not have access to clean drinking water. So it's a big problem. It's a big epidemic.
Now, when Generosity Global is on ground, do you get assistance from the government?
We do not. I would say our biggest ask of the government, the local government that is in that particular region, is collaboration. We want that particular government leadership to be on board with what we are doing, because it makes it easier for us to be able to implement our programs, to be able to bring in equipment, to be able to do things in those rural areas without having to go through too much red tape. So one of our biggest, criteria before we do a project anywhere is to have the local leadership on board. It really helps us
at the grassroots level first.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So, prior to any project coming in, we deploy our teams to build the relationships, to introduce our projects, to go through all of our processes, exactly what we intend to do, the impact that we intend to have. And then once we have the leadership on board, and leadership, includes maybe the mayor, the tribal leader, the tribal chief, and sometimes maybe even the governor of a particular region. So it is very key for us to have the buy-in of the leadership.
Okay. Now let's take it back to Baltimore, to the U.S. What are some of the challenges that Generosity Global has faced in achieving all that you've achieved so far? And we're going to get to your successes later. But as in working, you've talked about what you expect of the government in Cameroon or in Africa. What about here in the U.S.?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, and as you know, you've been following our work and our stories recently. With the launch of the shower trailer, the mobile shower service, we've been challenged not only from a financial perspective, but also from a leadership perspective in our local community in Baltimore, Maryland, where we are bringing and introducing a service that will benefit so many people who are unhoused, who are underserved, who are homeless. We are having a lot of challenges with the city leadership. The city of Baltimore has not necessarily been on board in welcoming this innovation, in welcoming this program, and we have this mentality that it's okay to do good, but not in my backyard. And so we have things where people who may be more affluent, people who may be of status, do not necessarily want to mingle with those who are of low class. So obviously, this particular program, the shower service, is going to bring showers to people who are homeless. And unfortunately, not unfortunate, because I'm not apologize for that. It just so happens that our homeless constituents are in that same neighborhood that some of the affluent people live. And so we are having those fights. We have been in contention with a city council member who has, completely disrespected our program and basically disrespected our homeless constituents. So it's a fight that we are really ready for. But the truth remains, generosity does triumph everything. Generosity does change everything, and we know without a shadow of a doubt that our program, our good deeds is going to surpass any governmental challenges that we face.
Now, are you implying that you're not getting as much support as you would have wanted to get from the city leadership in Baltimore?
Absolutely.
To help the homeless?
Absolutely, absolutely. I believe I'm a firm believer that it takes. I believe it takes government, it takes nonprofit, it takes local to work together as a cohesive unit to address a common problem. And for us, we have not necessarily asked Baltimore City, the government, to, from a financial standpoint, to chip in financially, because we took care of everything. This project is a $100,000 project that we funded ourselves, and the least that we've been asking for is give us access to water, so we can have water to come into the trailer. Give us access to a place where we can dispose of the water, and give us parking. Very simple ask, but it's been going on over a year, and still they have not given us a simple answer, a simple go ahead. So as of now, we have to come out of pocket as an organization to fund, permits to operate this mobile shower service, which in the long term, if we have to fund it ourselves, if we have to come out of pocket each time, it is going to be very difficult for us to sustain operations long term.
Now, Trish is asking, Trina Gilliam is asking, what can we do as a community to get the leadership in Baltimore to support?
I believe, call your city representative, join us in this fight in voicing our disgust with Baltimore City leadership, of not buying into the program, of not supporting it, of not rushing and saying thank you for such an amazing innovation that is going to help us, address the homeless crisis that we face in Baltimore, Maryland. And understand that showers is, having a shower is just an introduction of somebody to regain self-worth. Imagine when that person is bathed and they look clean and they're shaved, now they can go and feel good about themselves. Now they can go and actually have the courage to want to go to an interview. We are not only providing a shower services, but we are building an ecosystem where other organizations can connect to, from workforce development to resume writing to case management, things of that sort, again, to provide a holistic care for this individual that is not only there for a shower, but we are there to redirect them so that way the ultimate goal of taking a person from a place of crisis to a place of self-sufficiency could be achieved.
Absolutely. Now, when you talk about after the shower, they still go back to their old clothes. Are you also thinking of introducing an initiative where they can also get their clothes laundered as well?
Yes, the long-term vision is if, our goal is to be able to do a one-stop shop, and that may be something that Generosity Global introduces in the near future, or we can also partner with another organization. If there is an organization out in Baltimore, Maryland that does provide laundry services, we would love to invite you on the invite you to the table. Let's collaborate. Let's work together. We are serving the same constituent group, and it will be amazing to have us work together for a common purpose. But to your point, we do have individuals that will show up with dirty clothes, and that's why we have Generosity Closet, where we receive lots and lots of clothing donations from our supporters, our volunteers, and members of the homeless community are able to go through this closet, this line, to sort out items that looks clean, that are clean, that looks good on them, and they can very well get new clothes before they take a shower, and after showering they can change into those new clothes, and but the painful point, as you have mentioned, is knowing that that person does not have access to be able to wash those clothes once they're dirty.
Wow. So it's good to know that they will be having clean clothes too.
Address in the future.
Okay, so they're going to have new clothes before they go into the shower. And if people are visiting or people are coming out to volunteer to Generosity Global, can they bring in new clothing? Are you still accepting new items?
Absolutely. We encourage people to come down. There's Joy. There's one thing about just donating from afar. There's one thing about even if it's financial, and for those who are not able to be here in Baltimore and not close, we welcome your donations from afar. But if you are in proximity to Baltimore, Maryland, you can make it down yourself. Two things happen. You see your items that you donate being put in action, and you see instant impact as to how a simple item as a shirt, a simple item as food that you may have cooked, a simple item as a sock transforms somebody's life. And so there's that impact effect that we encourage our fans, our supporters to really come out and experience for themselves, because there's nothing like it. I can tell you all day long and talk your ears off and tell you this is how amazing it is, but until you come down for yourself to experience it, you're never really truly going to understand it.
That's very interesting to know. Now, let's talk about your success. What would you say, how would you rate your success as an organization in the last 9 years? And when you look back to 2010 till date, how much impact would you say that Generosity Global has made in the society?
Oh man, measuring success is one thing that I believe every organization looks at, and we measure it by impact. So I can give you, over the last 10 years, I can give you some quick numbers from serving food to over 30,000 homeless men and women in Baltimore, Maryland, providing over 1,000 free haircuts to people in the homeless community, engaging over the years. Over 1,000 volunteers have come through to serve with us, and giving them purpose and giving them reason, giving them a bigger why for living, and crystallizing something in their heart that they can find to keep doing over and over. And then when we look at our impact in Africa, we have successfully drilled 7 wells, 10 wells, successful projects. Close to 17,000 people now have access to clean drinking water. And when we look at Saturday that is coming up before us with the launch of this shower truck, we are looking at a system, a tool that can give showers to over 100 people every day. So from a impact standpoint, that's what we are looking at. And definitely as a leader, as a visionary, as somebody who was always dreaming big, those numbers are good, but I'm thinking bigger. I'm thinking, what does 5 years from now look like? What does 10 years from now look like?
I was going to get to that, to ask you your vision, what your vision was for the next 10 years actually, and where do you see yourself and Generosity Global going to?
Yeah, so we're always told to look out and cast that vision and see where you want to be, and that's good. And when I look at, what is the ideal, goal for us, I would just say 5 years from now. When we talk about 5 years from now, we want to be able to have given clean drinking water to over 2 million people in sub-Saharan Africa. When it comes, in terms of not only the water projects, but also to be able to address issues such as hygiene, sanitation, healthcare, education, that all these things are unlocked once clean water is introduced into a community. So that impact is beyond just clean water. That impact is a multitude of things. So we're looking at lives, over 2 million lives being impacted in 5 years because of just clean drinking water. And then with the mobile shower service, we are looking to replicate, in the next 2 years, about 20 more generosity showers around the country. And through that, we are able to create job opportunities for people who are transitioning through homelessness. So we're not only impacting the homeless through providing them with a service, but we are also creating job opportunities for people who have been through homelessness or coming out of homelessness, are stable on their feet, but they need an income to help them sustain through life. So we want to be that source of income for those who are able to help them, reintegrate themselves back into society, and they can live a whole life and being able to take care of their families, be able to take care of their children, be able to take care of their communities, and have them reinvest back into the community.
That's inspiring. Now, what advice would you give to other social entrepreneurs and change makers in society who may be inspired to take on humanitarian efforts?
My advice always is, if there's something that was put in your heart, that is on your heart, it wasn't put in your heart by accident. It was put in your heart for a specific purpose, for a specific reason. We are all born and given an assignment in this world. And for those social entrepreneurs and those change makers, we are the ones that have been called to tackle sometimes the most difficult problems that our world faces. And all we are doing is really bringing about solutions to these problems that in turn create value for the people that are receiving our solutions. So as I always say, just go for it. Go for it. Welcome that challenge, welcome that vision, welcome that dream. Believe in yourself. Do know that the challenges are going to come. However, you don't quit just because of challenges. In reality, when those challenges come, you have to rise above them and dig deeper, anchoring your purpose to your why, to yourself, and going further and further and further. So I would say, for those who are just getting started, for those who are already started, and for those who are almost giving up, I will encourage you to keep going, to keep believing in that dream, to keep believing in that vision, to really take a time and do an assessment of the impact that you have. Talk to some people that are receiving your services, because those are the people that are going to fuel you to keep going. And impact is something that for me is big, because it tells me and it tells our team that we are doing something right, and that we should keep going.
Awesome. Now let's talk about donations. If anyone watching wanted to make a donation to Generosity Global, what are the outlets and how can we contribute and make an impact?
Awesome. Thank you, Joy. I'm glad you asked that question. As you know, they say, charity is not free. Charity, it takes a lot of money to do good. Being able to do good really needs resources, and we are always asking for donations. I mean, they call me the chief fundraising officer for a reason. I'm always asking for money, but do know that every 100% of everything you donate to Generosity Global goes back into the field, goes back into our program. So you can donate on our website, which is www.generosityglobal.org. Generosity Global spelled out .org, O-R-G, or if you are in the States, in the United States, you can also donate to us via Cash App or Venmo, And for Cash App, our handle on Cash App is the $ Generosity Global. And on Venmo, our handle is at Generosity Global. So those three portals are great for donations: the website, Venmo, and Cash App. We take money, or you can just mail in a check to us. Our mailing address is 9250 Bendix, Bendix Road, Columbia, Maryland, 21045.
Great. And the donations, are they tax deductible?
Absolutely. As a federally recognized 501c3 nonprofit organization, 100% of your donations are tax deductible. So you get to write it off at the end of the year. You get to have that benefit, and more so knowing that you get to see your money being put to work, and the impact is very vivid. If you follow me on Facebook, you would be basically drunken by the amount of posts that I post regarding the impact that we are having. So yes, feel free, please. We do need your donations. If you are a business, for our business owners or people that are in high corporate positions, we also do welcome corporate sponsorships and corporate donations that can help us to scale our operations activities, to be able to help us to build our team. So we also do welcome corporate sponsors who can sponsor for years, that's beautiful.
Amazing. Well, I wish you the very best of success in realizing your goals for Generosity Global. And it has really been a pleasure talking with you and hearing your story, Rich. Thank you so much, and we will definitely be in touch again.
Joy, thank you so much for the time. I thank you. I thank your audience. And we will be catching up soon at Mission Ball. And I'm looking forward to it. Okay.
Absolutely. Great. Well, so thank you, our readers, and thank you, our viewers. Today, we had Rich Akwo with Generosity Global, and he just gave us a background to his story and the story of Generosity Global. Now, Generosity Global, the website is www.generosityglobal.org. I believe there is a link on in the comment section. If not, I will go ahead and repost. But please do share or mail your donations. Make your donations payable to Generosity Global, 9250 Bendix Road, Columbia, Maryland. Rich, what was the zip code again?
21045.
21045. Okay, so please, in your own various ways, you can also contribute to make an impact. If you cannot be in Baltimore this Saturday in person, send a check, Cash App, email, whatever you can do to encourage Generosity Global as they work in helping the lives of people, not just in the U.S. here, but also touching lives in Africa. So thank you for joining us today on Topical Discussions, and we hope you are inspired, or you were inspired by this interview with Mr. Rich Akwo of Generosity Global, and we will see you again next week, Thursday. Thank you.
Bye-bye.